fact going to fight against Beyond afterwards. And that's the side of the bracket we plan to ride. Spawning here on the lower left side of Orbital Shipyard, however, it's going to be the orange Terran player, Samsung Galaxy's Journey.
In the top right, as the blue Zerg, it's TCM's Soulkey. Well, so Journey going for a pretty fast expansion there, but it's Orbital Shipyard, so more power to him.
I mean, Orbital's great for, I'd say, both players in this one, just because of how easy it is to get that third on lockdown. And that's how we seem to have almost every race play out here. There's a lot of reasons I like Orbital Shipyard, and that's probably the biggest one, the fact that you don't have to worry about actually taking a third. Whereas you take a map like Central Protocol in comparison, and damn, you don't even bother. Just go for 2-base all in, you'll have a better time.
Yeah, pretty much. The one thing that's usually going for CC first does not give you is, of course, that Reaper. There are some builds that still intentionally get a Reaper, you know, delay the factory or whatnot, because the Reaper can be that important. But most of the time, right, you just see the Marines and then straight into that factory after a CC first. And that does, you know, if the Zerg sees this, which they're going to be able to see the Marine and hopefully still let the Overlord live, they could try just, you know, like that one instant be like, okay, I'm going to Baneling bust you now, because you wouldn't scout it anyways. But it's, you know, kind of risky to do that. Although Soulkey is up 1-0. Could just try and cheese it.
Yeah. I actually really thought this was going to be dedication to Reapers, though. It does feel like every Terran player and their mother decided that at least 3 Reapers on Orbital Shipyard is worth it every single time. But at the same time, for Journey, it might not be a question about his control, but more about just saying, look, I could make this investment, but will it even throw off Soulkey's game? Soulkey is one of these tiers of players that is just so good, it takes a lot to really mess with him.
Yeah. I said that the Overlord should hopefully live, but I was wrong. One Marine takes out one Overlord. That sucks for Soulkey. But there are the Hellions now. I think that Overlord, yeah, didn't get very far in, so... I mean, the attempt to save it, you know, the Lings were waiting to kill the Marine on the low ground if the Overlord wasn't so close to death. You know, if he had known it was going to die, just might as well send it all the way into the main base. He would have seen the 3rd command center. He might have been able to see, like, the gas timings too, but unfortunately did not. This still could be a 2-base attack off of a command center first, and Soulkey would be unable to know. But he's going for, again, a pretty safe build. That Roachworn coming down, it's really not that much of a mineral investment, especially if your 3rd is already on the way and actually done, as Soulkey is. And he just really likes that style we saw last game. It does have very, like, safe opener, but, you know, against Bjorn, because Bjorn is basically our epitome of a Terran player, it does die off in that mid-game pretty hard, right? Like, it still doesn't deal with mass amount of drops and harassment that well.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because Bjorn, it feels, is such a rare example of a good Terran player who's figured out how to play the matchup, that you see players like Journey and Reality and other really fantastic Korean Terrans flop and flounder, then you watch this one guy who's actually pretty good at it, to the point where we have fans accusing him of cheating, because that's how good he plays.
Just so crazy, though. Like, cheaters would never win like he does.
It's, we've talked about this before. Like, if you're gonna cheat, it's not just sometimes a little obvious, but even if you're really good at hiding it, it doesn't make up for the fact that Bjorn wins. Like, he makes bad decisions a lot, but he plays really well around them, and that's why he can win.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have we watched him fly a medevac into a spore crawler? Like, come on, Bjorn, please.
And if he was also map hacking, I feel like such a waste, you know? Like, dude, like, do you need to? Like, what are you doing? Like, your control is what's shining through here.
Yeah.
But anyways, Journey went for a Viking and then tried to fake out Banshee with Cloak. Not sure that, well, no, I mean, there's a bunch of spore crawlers, so Soulkey was convinced for it.
It's not a waste of investment either, though, because later on in the game, you will have those Liberators at some point typically start going around the mineral lines, and that's where that spore crawler is going to be really handy. So it's not a great investment early on like this because he doesn't need it, but it's something that's not a total waste either. Roach is going to push back the Hellions, and we do have the Lings running around a little bit annoying. A couple of CVs might go down. Medevacs should be able to just pick them up and save them if they want, though. Or just heal them. That works, too.
Oh, well, Journey is setting up for a decent push here with this combat shields. Probably going to time up with this 1-1. mean, certainly Journey's macro and build are all very clean and fleshed out. We can see the Void has kind of gotten its builders, you know, under control. But it's just I'm worried that the mid-game push is going to look as kind of lame as it did last game. There's no better way to put that. They just kind of stayed on the edge of creep and tried to do something. Killed a fourth, so it wasn't all bad, but wasn't enough damage in time to deal with those ultras. But actually not going for a push, so not going to take his tanks with him, just going for a direct drop. He tried this last game too, but much later on, by the time ultras were out. So this could do more damage.
I think if we have to go and look at a lot of Beyond's, because we're talking about him before being good in the matchup, one of the things we do see commonly happen, whether it's good or bad decision making, is like we don't actually see this desperation for drops a lot of the time, and it's good if you do damage through this. There's no one who's going to tell you dropping's a bad idea if you can get away with the appropriate amount of damage. She's going to get her to the middle line. Journey, of course, has stim finish, so he can pick off a lot of these drones pretty quickly. This has turned out to be pretty good for him. Get that Roach Warren as well if he'd like.
Ooh, getting Roach speed, not a bad pickoff.
Or not.
Doesn't really target much though. Again, target some of the extractors, some of the hatcheries, some of the overlord.
8 drones not too bad, because he doesn't lose much
that was
for
pretty
it.
good.
I was gonna say that what we end up seeing a lot of the time out of Beyond is he sets these drops up and like leaves them there for like a while and doesn't do anything with them. Then we have that really big push that always comes as Hive Tech finishes. Like it's almost like that trigger is scanning for when Hive Tech's done. And a lot of the times that's that weakness. That's when the Zerg are just bulking up those minerals hoping to get ultras.
Ooh.
So by forcing fights out, that's actually maybe not as good of an idea, as weird as that is to say. Regardless for Journey though, he is gonna load the main once again. Corruptor's now popping out with these mutas. This Viking, oddly enough, from earlier is still alive, so this will be kind of nice to add in some damage as it's got some range to it. Corruptor's very tentative to engage.
Soulkey going for that counterattack and then being denied by a supply depot wall might be like game over here. These units all really out of position. The muta's not dealing with the drops. I mean, they send them out of the base, but then they all die.
Oh wow, he's letting them die. Yeah. Well, Soulkey, no.
The attack on the left killed both the fourth and the third.
Wow. So this starts getting really out of hand as Journey, credit to him, if you can pull off this level of multitasking and distract Soulkey all at the same time, fantastic. Who needs to worry about ultras if you kill your opponent before they can make them? Yeah, one of the other things too with this is when he started going Mutalisk and he started going Corruptors, I really thought, hey, guess what? Journey is going to be in trouble because there's no way he's dropping with these guarding the bases. But with that being said, the Mutas are dead, the Corruptors are gone, and this is not a great spot for Soulkey at all.
No, quite bad. Journey got a bit lucky, to be honest. You know, Soulkey's decision to go for that counter as opposed to just staying home and defending and getting to that hive was a very risky one. I mean, usually on Orbital Shipyard, you do not see the Terran with a full third base wall off ever, much less as early as it was, you know, before 9 minutes. So it's like, you can't blame Soulkey for trying, but damn, that did not work out. And now Soulkey has really no chance of getting to that hive comfortably. He did get an infestation pit, so he was thinking about it, but now after losing 2 bases, I can't really afford it.
Well, tanks and medevacs ready to drop out and be maneuvered around the map. Bailing speed. It's not started. Oh, wow. That's not good news for Soulkey. Just the fact that it's coming now, but the fact that it's coming so late is already a bad sign. Before this fight even begins, that kind of tells you how this game's been going for him.
Yeah, well, he does push it off, you know, with his play style like last game, but now everything is just wonky. It's later than it was. He doesn't have those Ravagers that he was using last game.
Oh, the banelings on that wall. Here come the Widow Mines too to make sure anything gets through. Does get picked off. That kills all the banelings. There's no way he pushes through these Marines now.
No, that's not even all of the army. All the army's coming up from behind. And Soulkey will lose this game.
Yeah, and he loses it really badly, too. I love Soulkey to death, but that was not a good game for Soulkey. GG Journey ties up this semifinals 1-1.